Something crazy happened, guys, when I was getting my ADHD diagnosis. I also got a surprise diagnosis of...
Do you love me?
Hi! Just putting some moisturiser on, guys. BRB. Right, hello! Long time no queef, am I right? I just thought I'd do a little sit down, get ready and catch up kind of vibe. I asked you guys on Instagram to send in some questions and topics, but I also have a couple of things that I kind of just want to talk about and get off my chest, kind of explain like what's going on up in this nog, because it's just a lot right now. Also, new back. Love it. Look, a little Z for Zayden, period. It's on my K-pop girlies. I feel like I still want to put up some more, but this is my first time filming in this setup. What do you think, guys? Yeah! But today I'm getting ready because we're going to a museum. Such a cute little wholesome Saturday. We're going to a museum and we're going to a pub, but I'm not drinking because I'm actually taking April off of drinking. That's part of the updates. I've said it on Instagram as well if you haven't seen. Honestly, I timed it because Eleanor's going away this month. I mean, she's only going away for a week, but I also was like out of London for almost 2 weeks. And I was like, I won't drink while I'm home. Eleanor's gonna be away, so this is a perfect time to just kind of like detox and cleanse. I've just been a bit mental recently, guys. That's kind of the main thing that I kind of wanted to talk about and get off my chest. It's not been doing all that good. Bit shit. And I have a few general mental health updates as well, because obviously, as a lot of you know, I have been on like a journey with ADHD, trying to get diagnosed. And I did get diagnosed, which is really, really fun and happy, exciting, because it took me ages. In the UK, the waiting list for like NHS diagnoses is like 2 years. Like it took me 2 years to get my formal diagnosis. I have been living my life as if I had ADHD in that whole time, just like with coping mechanisms and stuff like that, just because I kind of knew that I had it. Like realistically, I was like, I know that this is a thing, but I just have to, I guess, wait for the formal diagnosis for it to seem valid. Whoa, I'm really diving straight in. Let me also just say, I've been experimenting with wearing less makeup. I mean, I'm still doing like full coverage and stuff like that, but my face can take less makeup these days because I'm getting older. And like my skin's a lot drier and stuff these days, so like I have just been wearing like less foundation basically. Usually I would just put it straight onto the thing and go, and I would use like 3, maybe 3.5 pumps. But I've been putting it on the back of my hand and literally like spreading it around the what is this? Beauty blender. Kind of going in just with like a thin layer. It still kind of gives me a good amount of coverage, but the layers are so much thinner that I find that it like lasts a bit better on my skin. So that's what I've been doing with my makeup recently. Anyways, mental health. This is me officially confirming that I got my formal diagnosis for ADHD, and it's honestly been a really weird journey because I've been waiting for this for 2 years. I got the formal diagnosis in January. I feel like I had like this idea that getting the diagnosis would be like, cool, I've done it now. It's not really that, because then I have to face the fact that I do have it, and like over the past like couple of years where I've been like researching and kind of living my life as if I had it until I got the diagnosis and stuff, I feel like I've realized that my ADHD is a real hindrance in my life. I make a lot of jokes about my mental health and stuff like that because that's just the kind of person I am. Like I like to deal with things with humor and stuff. I like to make jokes and stuff, but like when I actually think about it and get down to it, I fucking hate having ADHD. This is another thing. People are always like, ADHD is a superpower. What superpower means that you like can't do shit? Superpowers are supposed to mean that you can do stuff that other people can't. But for the most part, living with ADHD and being neurodivergent in an holistic world, it's really difficult. This world isn't built for my brain, and it can be very otherizing. Is that a word? Like now that I know this about myself and like have looked so much more into it and stuff, I feel like I've noticed how different I am to a lot of people, and like I've looked back at a lot of stuff in my childhood and been like, wow, yeah, like that was ADHD. I've also been wanting my makeup to look a little bit more skin and glowy, so I'm using like a glowy setting mist before I set my makeup. I just put like a little spritz on. Also guys, summer! So excited that it's finally time. I mean, I know it's spring, but like the clocks have changed. It's sunny outside today. I feel like a changed person. The leaves are growing on the trees. I can see it. Oh, I just love it. I'm such a summer girly. And then I've been trying to use like just a little bit less powder as well. Like I only really do like maybe the centery bits. And I've been trying to put less under my eyes because again, I'm getting older and I have like more creases under my eyes now. I've realized with my like full coverage routine that has worked for me while I've been young and supple doesn't necessarily work that well for me anymore because yeah, I'm getting older, my skin's a bit drier. It creases so much worse. I mean, I don't know if maybe I'm just doing something wrong. I don't think it's that because it's always worked for me, but it's as I'm getting older, it's not really working for me as much anymore. So this is a PSA if you're young.
This is coming for you.
I'm not even old, I'm 25, but still, I'm noticing creases under my eyes and I don't like it. But anyways, as I was saying with ADHD, at least for me, I can't speak on everyone else's behalf. I struggle so much with everyday life, and I feel like there's a lot of people that don't realize how debilitating it can be. I think people have obviously just kind of the stereotype of ADHD in their minds when they think of it, being, you know, scatterbrained and losing things and going off topic and stuff, which is all true. I do that. But ultimately ADHD is like an executive dysfunction disorder. So there's certain things in life that like most people can just get on with, whereas I struggle with it because it's like there's so many tasks involved. For example, showering. Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, like when I'm in a really bad headspace, I struggle to shower. Most people think of showering as one task. They think like, oh, I need to get in there, shower, get out. Whereas my brain thinks of every single like thing that I need to do in there and thinks about all of the tasks and stuff. And I also have sensory issues about like changes in temperature and like stuff like that. So it's things as simple as that. Like I can't always bring myself to shower because of like how much mental energy it entails. Sometimes it's really difficult describing like ADHD problems because I feel like because I am like a physically able-bodied person, like yes, I physically can shower. I don't think that people realize when it comes to mental illnesses and mental disabilities and stuff like that, that like it should be treated just as seriously as like physical disabilities as well. I mean, I know that I'm physically able and I'm not like diminishing other people who have it harder and stuff. Like I'm very grateful that physically I can like get up and shower and do things like that. But it can be hard to describe these kind of symptoms because people just think that you're lazy. Like that's such a stigma with ADHD, is everyone just thinks you're lazy. But at the end of the day, this is like a disability that is to do with executive dysfunction. You can't get on with things that like most people can a lot of the time. Like you wouldn't say to someone who wasn't physically able to shower that they were just being lazy and just get up and just go and shower, like just get on with it, because that would be ridiculous. They aren't physically able, and that's the thing, is like I'm not mentally able sometimes, do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think this is something that I just struggle with when it comes to talking, and I know that a lot of people with ADHD struggle with talking about when it comes to the things that they struggle with, because it is a mental thing, it's not a physical thing. People don't understand when you say that you can't do something. I have people in my life that like have tried to give me advice and stuff before, and I know that it's coming from a good place, but the advice just isn't gonna work for me because like I've had to kind of accept that sometimes I just can't do something, and that's not in like a giving up or lazy way or something like that. It's just an acceptance of my limitations sometimes, do you know what I mean?
Hi, editing me. I also just want to pop in and talk about something else that I've been thinking about and he didn't mention whilst I'm editing it. I think also something that's been quite strange about being diagnosed with ADHD is the realization that the disability has been the reason you find stuff so difficult, but because you didn't know that in the past, you were able to do things, but it was like so physically and mentally exhausting to push yourself through that like, you know, I would get on with stuff, like I would just get on with it because I had to, and I'd be so physically and mentally exhausted and I didn't know why. Pretty much I'm also worried about like the way that people are going to be perceiving me now, because I give myself a little bit more grace when it comes to things that I struggle with, and I actually allow myself to, I don't want to say give up because it sounds very defeatist and it sounds like kind of negative terminology, but like sometimes in the past I would just push through no matter how much it was going to emotionally and physically exhaust me, whereas now I'm able to just accept my limitations, like I just said. And I think I worry about the way that people perceive that as well in my life. Like I worry that people think that I I'm turning into more of a lazy person. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think people will have seen me perfectly capable of doing things in the past that now I struggle with, and it seems like a sudden shift where it's just like all of a sudden I struggle with that thing, whereas you know, he used to be able to do it, why can't he do it now? And it's because I used to be able to do it, but it was fucking difficult. Nowadays I'm able to recognize and like allow myself to be like, okay, I'm really struggling with this thing. It's my ADHD, it's my mental illnesses at work. And again, give myself a bit of grace about it. Do you know what I mean? Anyways, back to the vid.
I am hoping to get medication, but unfortunately there is a national shortage in the UK at the moment. So I think it's gonna take me a minute before I can actually get some ADHD medication. But you know, I'm hoping that eventually I can get medicated and that will help and stuff. Yeah, it's just been like a weird journey of me realizing that ADHD is really difficult to live with sometimes. Like, really difficult, because it also comes with some, like, if you don't know, there's so much to ADHD that people don't know. Like, it also comes with self-esteem issues, because I also have that voice in my head that's being like, why can't you just fucking get up and do it? Like, I'll be in bed and be like, I need to get up and shower and eat because I've forgotten to eat, because I don't realize that I'm hungry until I'm shaking with hunger. And I'll be like, why can't I just fucking get up and do it? Like, I beat myself up so much in my head because I have that voice in my head as well that's like, I'm physically able to get up and do it, so what is stopping me?
It's really hard up there sometimes, you know?
So that's where I'm at with ADHD. Again, hoping to get medication and stuff, but I think it's just like, I'm now at a point where, like I said, I'm just kind of having to accept sometimes that I can't do things. I try not to beat myself up as much about it. Getting like my dad, oh, just took my fucking foundation off my fucking nose. Yeah, I think that's been one of the best things about my ADHD diagnosis, is that I'm allowing myself a little bit more, grace when it comes to struggling with things. I'll be like, why can't I do this thing? And then I'm like, oh, I have a disability. But on the subject of mental health and my ADHD diagnosis, something crazy happened, guys, when I was getting my ADHD diagnosis. So I went in, obviously it's an ADHD assessment, so I'm expecting that I'm probably gonna come out with ADHD. I also was gonna ask about an autism referral, which I have been referred, so I'm like waiting for that as well. So I was like, okay, I'm also gonna ask about that. And she was like, cool, yeah, we'll refer you. But I also got a surprise diagnosis of OCD. That wasn't on the cards. Wasn't expecting that. I don't really know that much about OCD. I have a couple of friends that have OCD, and like, you know, there's stuff that I've seen on TikTok of like people with OCD. So I have like a general understanding of it. I know that it's so much more than like what was portrayed on Glee. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not all, and some people obviously experience like cleanliness and stuff like that, but there's so much more to it. When I was doing my assessment, she started like asking me some questions that were like leaning away from what I had like researched about like the ADHD assessment and like what to expect, to the point where I was like, why is she asking me all of these things? But I was answering, being like, yes, I experienced that, yes, I experienced that, like intrusive thoughts and routines and rituals and stuff like that. I have a lot of these things. I've never clocked onto it, even though it has been glaringly obvious. There was actually an experience that I had with Eleanor a couple years ago. We were at a Harry Styles concert and I told her about something as a joke, where I was kind of like, oh, does anyone else do this funny thing? Because one of my, now I know that it's OCD, one of my kind of like rituals for OCD or whatever, what is it? I still don't fully know. I need to do more research, and I also am gonna start therapy and learn more about like what's actually going on up here. One of my things is that like I hold my breath a lot. Like, there's a lot of times where, say I'm going to the toilet, like my brain will be like, well, you have to hold your breath until you get there, otherwise someone's gonna come into your room and kill you at night. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, what? And I've always done that since I was really young. I said that at this concert with Eleanor. Jake was with us, but he was at the toilet, so it was just me and Eleanor waiting for Harry Styles to come on. Love him. And I was like, oh, do you ever like do little things like this? And she was like, that sounds like OCD, babe. And I was like, do you know what? You actually have a point there. And we were like, ha 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 ha, oh my God. But this was ages ago and I hadn't really thought too much into it. Like, we would laugh about that situation, but I didn't really think that it was, I guess, that bad. Again, it was staring me in the face, but I just hadn't clocked onto it for some reason. I came away from my ADHD assessment with an autism referral and an OCD diagnosis. And also, she mentioned that, like, I might have an eating disorder. I'm being very open. These are the kind of things that people on TikTok would be like, you could not waterboard this information out of me. I'm so not that person. I will openly and happily talk about anything, but y'all love you guys, so may as well tell you all about it. So I came away from my ADHD assessment a little bit more perplexed because I thought I was just gonna have ADHD and it turned out I had a fucking plethora. Dom made a joke about this. He was like, it's like you're collecting mental illnesses like infinity stones. Because what do you mean I have ADHD, OCD, depression, anxiety, maybe autism, and an eating disorder? I know it's not funny, but like, guys, it kind of is. Like, that's ridiculous. See, this is what I mean. I am able to laugh and joke about things like this, but I also really do struggle. So that's kind of where I've been at recently. I have been struggling recently, and I don't think I've really realized. A couple of my friends sat me down recently and had a bit of a conversation with me, kind of raised concerns, because I've kind of been isolating myself a lot, and I was only really catching on to it the past couple of weeks. Like, I think I started being like, why don't I want to leave my room? Why don't I want to see anyone? And I started being like, I don't think I'm in a good place. But the weird thing about it is that I wasn't experiencing sadness in the way that I usually do when I have these kind of like depressive episodes, and I do think that that might be because of my medication. I'm on sertraline, and I actually had to increase my dosage for my OCD because apparently that handles OCD symptoms as well, and I do think that it's helping. But in this kind of like weird depressive state that I've been in, I've not been experiencing sadness the way that I usually do, so I don't think I realized that I had an issue. I really like sertraline, it works really well for me, I think, but like that was quite a weird experience of realizing that like I've actually been in a bit of a bad place, but not realized because I didn't feel sad, because I think like my medication obviously like helps with the feelings of sadness and feeling low in that way, but it doesn't alleviate the symptoms of my actual mental issues. I didn't realize that I hadn't been doing well until the past couple of weeks, and then my friends sat me down. I was like, it feels like an intervention, and lucky it kind of was. But it was really, really good, and honestly I was very thankful to them because it kind of was a bit of a wake-up call, kind of highlighting that they had noticed it for a bit of a longer period of time as well. Made me go like, okay, yeah, so there is an issue here, because even my friends are noticing it. I love that my friends care enough to notice that. That made my heart very full, I will say. I really appreciated that, and I love my friends. But yeah, oh my god, I feel like I've been talking ages about that. That wasn't actually supposed to be that long of a segment, but that's kind of where I'm at, guys. I do feel a little bit better, especially after that conversation with my friends. Again, it felt like a bit of a wake-up call, kind of made me realize that I needed to make some changes, and I'm feeling a lot more positive, hence why I'm sitting down and filming this. Because also something that I neglect a lot is YouTube, and it's really shit because I actually really love doing this because I'm like, my videos are fun. Like, sorry, I enjoy watching my own videos. I know that there's a lot of YouTubers that like don't like watching their own videos. I like watching my own videos. I think that they're fun, and especially because a lot of my videos are like sesh vlogs and me hanging out with my friends and stuff. Like, it's just fun to watch those videos a lot of the time. So I actually really love doing this, and it's like such a bummer that sometimes I struggle with like keeping on top of it. Because also, like, if I want my channel to grow, I know that the algorithm favors regular uploads, and I'm like, oh, I need to upload, but I can't because my brain is stupid. I actually have a sesh vlog coming next week. Oh, I cut my nose when I was shaving today. Don't ask me how I managed to cut here when I was shaving here. What time is it? Shit. That's kind of the main thing that I wanted to get off my chest. So let me actually go onto the post where I asked you guys what you wanted me to talk about. I asked for like questions, topics, and advice, and I just figured I would go through them and see what I can be asked talking about. Sorry if yours doesn't make it in. Ask a better one next time. What? Oh my god, does anyone else get like random shoots of pain up their arsehole sometimes? I just had that. Oh! Someone just asked for my PIN number. Hilarious. I could give you it, but there's no money in there, honey. Browse. I need to actually hurry up. I've been chatting beans for so long that I have forgotten that I am actually kind of a little bit in a rush. Feel the rush. Someone asked who I was living with. So I live with Catherine, Jake, Catty, and Rafaro. If you follow the chan, you probably actually know a decent amount of those people because they've made some appearances on my chan, as well as like Catty's a musician. Go stream. She actually just dropped a new single the other day and it's doing incredibly well, and I'm so proud of her. I will put the link in my bio to go and stream. Also, if you have a spare 79p, go and buy it because that really, really helps. I didn't realize that I could still buy a song on iTunes because everyone just streams nowadays. But if you go into the iTunes store, search it up, there's an option to buy it for 79p. And 79p, that's not even £1, guys. Come on, you can do that, come on. But yeah, I live with those girlies, absolutely love them. I actually want to do a video with them. Should I say what it is? We're gonna do a say it or shut it. Like a housemate say it or shut it, guys. Oh, that's a fun one. If you had to relive relive. If you had to relive 1 year of your life, what would it be? Ooh. I'd say 23 and 24. So fun. And I'm not writing off 25. I'm gonna carry on having a fun year. Updates on your love life. Mine is non-existent, so I have to live vicariously through others. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint. My love life is also non-existent. I do really want to go on a date, but I've been saying that for years and it just hasn't happened. But I don't know. I'm just like, can't really be arsed. Like, there is part of me that does want to get a boyfriend and date and experiment in that way and stuff, but I don't think I care enough to do it yet. And on the same vein, any dick recently? No. I was actually thinking about this the other day. I'm pretty sure my condoms have probably gone out of date because of how long it's been since I've slept with someone. Any sesh vlogs coming our way? Yes, there's one coming next week. It's kind of a lighter sesh vlog. It's not as like crazy as my usual ones, but it is a really fun video. I've pretty much finished editing it. Oh, are you religious? Interesting. I'm not. I would consider myself a fairly spiritual person. I'm open to all possibilities. Religion isn't something that I've personally actually had like good experiences with in terms of like growing up with a crazy religious father. I have friends that are religious, like one of my closest friends, Bin. She's actually a friend of the channel. She's been on the channel. She's Christian, and she honestly changed the way that I viewed religion because I had such a bad experience about it when I was younger, especially being gay. Being friends with Bin really changed my perspective on it, and I saw that religion can actually be a really nice thing, a really beautiful thing. I'm putting more makeup on than I was planning to, but we're here now and I've got to roll with it. But yeah, if you're religious, comment below what your religion is. I fully support anyone who wants to be religious, unless you're a hateful person with it. Because that's the thing that pisses me off when it comes to some people's perception of religion. Religion is supposed to be like, love thy neighbor. You're supposed to be kind to everyone. You're supposed to love everyone. Why are there so many people that use religion as the backbone of hate? You're supposed to be loving and accepting of everyone. So the fact that there's so many people that use religion to be hateful, not even just for gay people, but just in general, like to women, there's so much stuff that is like so oppressive to women. I think that's really gross, and I think that's the issue that can arise when it comes to religion, because there's so many people that use it in a negative way when it is supposed to be such a positive thing. Also, Jesus was such a liberal person. His friends were all like prostitutes and poor people. He hated the rich. He didn't believe in people hoarding money and stuff like that. And all of these people that are like hateful with it are people that are like diehard capitalists and like hate sex workers, and they hate poor people and they hate gay people and stuff. And I'm like, these are the people that Jesus would have been friends with. There are so many people that practice religion that like wouldn't have liked Jesus if he was around in our time. So that's my opinion on religion. Hope it's not too controversial, but religion can be beautiful. I think unfortunately there are some people that make it ugly. Period. This eyeshadow is patchy. Do the patchy cootie. Oh, how did you find the right time to come out to friends? Interesting. I came out like a decade ago and things were a lot different back then. In terms of a general acceptance with it. Shut up. What the hell? In terms of general...
I'm about to beat this bitch up.
Are you fucking kidding? These days, in terms of acceptance and stuff, there is a better attitude than when I was younger and I was coming out, because I came out, yeah, when I was like 15, 16. I've actually got a story about it on the channel if you want to go and watch it, because I was outed. That was a bit shit. But there was a handful of people that I did come out to because it was my own choice, and I was able to do that before it was stolen from me from the prick that outed me. But the people that I did choose to come out to, honestly, I feel like I just got the vibe that it was okay. Luckily it was, because unfortunately, obviously there are some people that feel like they can come out to someone and then goes horribly. So I feel very blessed that like there was a couple of people that I felt comfortable enough to come out to, and it was a positive experience. When it comes to coming out, one of the main things that I always say is just like, make sure you're gonna be safe. And if you suspect that coming out might endanger yourself, as much as it sucks to like stay in the closet or whatever, if it's safer to do so, I would always advise just stick it out for a little bit longer until you can leave, and then go and live your best life. It's only a couple years. Most of the time when you're younger, like if you're like 15, 16, you'll be leaving home in a couple years, hopefully. Just when you're an adult and you can get out of there and be safe, I think it's so much better to just live through those kind of tough, difficult years and then go somewhere where you can fully flourish and be yourself. Curl those eyelashes, curl them really good, and you curl them. Actually, I'll put some glitter on. Woo! Best glitter ever, by the way. This is a liquid blush made by Mitchell in, what is it, Drip Drip. I just feel like it's so pretty. Just like that little touch of glit. Look! Will said, how many bricks of Lego can you fit up your bum? 34. Don't ask me how I know. Any current hobbies or interests? Honestly, not really. I think because I've obviously not been in a great place, kind of lost interest in things that I've been interested in. Honestly, it's gonna sound like such a stupid thing, but I love playing Fortnite. A hobby is just something that you do because it's fun, right? Like, it doesn't have to be productive or educational or something like that. It's just fun. So I guess playing Fortnite is a current hobby of mine. I feel like I just don't know what I want to get into. Again, the struggle of ADHD, you're such like a jack of all trades. Like, you want to be able to do everything, but then you get stuck because it's like overwhelming the amount of things that you want to do, so you end up doing nothing. So what are your guys' hobbies? Comment them below. I'm looking to pick up some hobbies. Like, I want to do more. I just like, I'm all over the place mentally sometimes, so I don't really have anything that I do. I mean, I like learning K-pop dances. That's fun, but I haven't done that in a while. I also love learning languages, but I, again, haven't really kept on top of that. I've done that in a while. So yeah, let me know what your guys' hobbies are, and maybe I'll copy them. Maybe we can be in it together. Unless it's like crocheting and knitting and stuff, because I see that that's a lot of people's hobbies, and I'm happy for you, but that is so not my vibe. Do you see what I mean about my makeup looking a little bit more natural though? I mean, I am about to put a lash on, which does make it look more full on. I thought I just shit myself. I let out a little fart there. You know when you have a fart that does feel like something came out of your ass, but I guess it's just the air is like trapped? That just happened to me. So I thought I just shit myself on camera. Luckily I didn't. Okay, I just went and quickly finished my makeup because I'm not gonna lie, I am late. So I'm just gonna sign the video off here. Thank you for listening to me ramble. A lot of you actually asked like how I was doing in general, and I very much appreciate that you care enough to ask how I've been doing. Obviously, famously, I've not been doing super good, but I think I'm on the up a little bit, so that's pause. Also, I said I've been trying to do lighter makeup. This is still full coverage. This is still heavy makeup. She's cute, whatever. I'm fine with it. So, illy guys, see ya.